morning. I'm going to back up into this corner. I'm in a hotel room, so it's going to be a little bit different for me teaching today. So if it's your first time teaching, or if it's your first time coming to my class, welcome. This class is very adaptable. You can do this class from a chair. You can do this the postures in this class the way that it's best for you ultimately, right? So going into this, if it's your first time, just know that this class can be what you want it to be. So if there are things that I do in my body that don't seem right for your body, that's a good indication that you should do things a little bit differently. So if you can find yourself in a position similar to mine, but it feels better in your body, that's the right choice. Okay, so we're going to start building Tadasana, mountain pose. So we bring the feet together as an option, or you can bring the feet about hip width distance as an option. That's my favorite. Two fists together in between the big toes. You can bend down and just make sure they're in the right place. I always set myself up wider than I need to, so I always check in. All right, so from here, lift up all your toes, spread them out really wide, and then place them back down on your mat. Shift your weight towards your toes, lift your heels. I'll lose you in the frame. And then bring your heels down, lifting up your toes. So forwards and backwards at your own pace. I'm going to tilt my camera up just a little bit. There we go, forwards and backwards. All right, so if you've had enough of that, begin to move a little side to side. We're trying to wake up our feet here. And waking up our feet builds a strong foundation for the rest of what we're going to do throughout class. Bring the weight towards your big toe mounds, careful of your knees. And then all of these together, if that feels okay, omitting anything that doesn't feel okay. All right, and then we'll begin to settle. Lift all your toes up again, try to spread them out a little bit wider, and then place them back down on your mat. Bring your weight towards your big toe mounds, and then the outer edges of your heels. Bring your weight towards your little toe mounds, and then the inner edges of your heels. So there's 4 corners in both of your feet. You might not feel them immediately. You can rock the weight a little bit side to side to just get more in touch with those points. And from here, let your feet settle. So a little bend in the knees now to let the lower back soften. It's pretty awkward. It's just in that space right before you're about to sit down and then hang out there. So that brings the shins forward. We're still pressing down from the feet. From here, get in touch with your core. So pull the pelvic floor in and up. Belly button in towards your spine. This rounds us forward really often. So lift your ribs up and take a moment to roll your shoulders up and back. And let your shoulders settle. Let your palms face a little bit forward, but try not to make this big, huge movement just to bring your arms forward. Just let it be natural. Deep breath in, lift your chest. Slow breath out, relax your shoulders. From here, engage your thighs, straighten your legs. Let that stand you a little bit taller. And if it's a part of your practice, bring your palms together at the center of your chest. This could be called Anjali Mudra. Take a moment here to create an intention for your class. This could be a moment of silence. This could be a mantra. This could be something else. Doesn't have to be anything at all. And take a big breath in. And your slowest breath out. Opening up your eyes, interlace your fingers and place them underneath your chin. If you've not done this before, your first time to my class, just take a moment to watch before you get into this. It's a little bit involved. So we're holding all the principles of mountain pose down to the feet, engaging up from the core. Fingers stay to the chin the whole time. Look up towards your ceiling and it's a loud ha sound simultaneously, elbows touch. Inhale, level your chin, lift up your elbows. Exhale, head back. Squeeze in the elbows, squeeze your core. Inhale, level your chin, keep your shoulders down, lifting your elbows up. Exhale, head back. Turning to the side just to show you here what's going on, a different perspective. Inhale, level your chin, lift your elbows. Exhale, head back. So we'll take a couple more of these at your own pace. Inhaling up to create space. Exhaling out, squeezing in. One more, slowing it down. And release your arms back down by your sides, back to your mountain pose. All right, bring your toes in a little bit closer if you can. Inhale, arms up overhead. I always lose you in the frame here. I'm very tall. Interlace your fingers, release your index, cross your thumbs, and then take some time for a little movement side to side. So opening up the space between your ribs and your hips. You could go much slower than this. You could have your hands at heart center or hands at your hips, one arm up, whatever you need to do. And if this feels good, you might add some circles. You might like to lift up from the chest and draw the elbows back just a little. You might like to reach the arms forward and pull one hip back and the other. So whatever you're doing, balance it out and make your way back to your center. If your arms can't be overhead like this, it's no problem. Take your hands to heart center instead. So toes touch, maybe your heels touch. Engage your glutes and your thighs. With your inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, stretch up and over to your right. So we're grounding down from the feet, lifting up from the chest. Core is engaged. We're pulling up from the pelvic floor. That helps to support our spines. And we're drawing the shoulders down. Deep breath in. Exhale to reach. Inhale back up to your center, lengthening up. Exhale over to your left. So now we're trying to create space, from the ribs and the hips. Sometimes when we teach this posture, it's common to pop the hip out. So try to keep your hip in place instead. Ground from the feet with your inhale, reach up. Exhale to reach over. Inhale back up to your center. And on your exhale, back to your mountain pose, Tadasana. All right, so a little bit of a chest opener, a little bit of a back bend coming next. If you need more support, use a block in between your feet, your knees, or your thighs to help you. And that help comes from squeezing the block to help isolate the inner thigh muscles to lift you up out of your lower back. So feet hip width distance. Take your palms, flip them down, place them at your lower back, draw your elbows in. Inhale to lift up your heart. On your exhale, engage your core and press your hands into your lower back. Keep wrapping the thighs around, wrapping the glutes back, lifting up from your chest. Slow breath out. Inhale back up. On your exhale, back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Look up if that's okay. On your exhale, forward fold, however you want to get there. You might need to have the hands closer to your body to bring your upper body down. So once you're in your fold, just hang out. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Grab for opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. See if you can get the center of your spine to soften. And then move down the spine. Check in with your lower back. Maybe that can soften, just with some awareness to that space. If a shoulder opener sounds good to you, take your hands to your lower back, interlace your fingers, knuckles up and overhead. You can do this with a strap in between your hands or a block. A little dish towel could be helpful here. Just anything to give you some space. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hands down towards the floor or your blocks. Lower your hips down towards your heels. And we're going for a little bit of a rounded shape here, right? It might not be like a perfect ball shape, but just try to round your spine. Bring the shoulders back, elbows hug in towards your sides. And then look a little forward and lift and lower your heels. Lift and lower. They might make some noises. So I am in Narragansett, Rhode Island today, in case you were wondering. That is the Atlantic Ocean out there. I've never been here before, first time. All right, so come back to your fold. Check in with your feet, make sure they're about hip width distance still, and grab one of your blocks, place it in between your feet and a little bit forward so that when you place your left hand on top and you lean your weight forward towards your toes, your left wrist, elbow, and shoulder are lined up. Then engage your core, really strong through the core here to protect your spine. Inhale to twist, right arm reaches up. So we bend both knees. You're bending the left knee more. Looks a little weird in my reflection. I think it's the animal print. So keep the knees in alignment, knees forward. Deep breath in, lift your chest. Exhale to twist. Notice your toes, balance it out between your toes and heels. One more time, breathe in. Exhale and twist. Look down, bring your right hand down to meet your left. Just hang out in a fold here for a moment. And we'll switch it out. So right hand ground, shift your weight forward, bend both knees. Excuse me, bend your right knee more. And then from your core, twist, reaching the left arm up. So your fingers could be wide. You could have them together. Just pick one. We just want it to be active through the whole body. Left hip draws back, right shoulder under. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And looking down, left hand meets your right, forward fold, hang heavy. Both blocks set up towards the top of your mat now. We'll see how this goes when I lunge in this little corner that I'm in. So when you get to the top of your mat, both blocks set up, take your shoulders back, bend your knees, pick up your right foot, point your toes straight back, and then step back into a lunge. From here, lower your back knee down. Make sure your left knee lines up with the back of your left heel, and that could mean you inch your foot a little bit forward. So flip your blocks up, give yourself some space, right? This helps give us space. And then when you feel okay here, try to lower your right hip forward and down, not down to where you're like dropping your hip down, but as you're able to move your hip forward, maybe it's able to slide down just a little bit. Deep breath in. Exhale, half splits. Take your time getting there. Flex the left foot. Send your hips back. It's real easy to just lean to one side of your hips, so try to keep your hips square instead. You can always place your hands on your hips to check in. All right, so let's move through some nerve glides. Point your toes away from your body. Flex your foot, toes towards your body. And then at your own pace, point and flex, point and flex. Flex your left foot, engage your core. Inhale to your lunge, mindful of your hips. Exhale, back to your half splits, flex your left foot. One more inhale to your lunge. Exhale, half splits and hold. So if you care to add depth here, lift up your chest a bit, spiral your elbows in towards your body and hinge a little bit forward. When you hinge, notice if your hinge is more of a shoulders up round, and if that's you, it's shoulders back first and then reach your nose towards your toes. Inhale to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee up off your mat. Hover your right knee down just a little. Inhale, lift your right leg, flex your foot. Exhale, forward fold. And just let yourself hang out in a fold here for a breath or two. Any kind of fold you like. All right, let's work into the other side. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, pick up your left foot, point your toes, and step it back to your lunge. So take your time setting up your lunge on this side. You might have a different variation. You might have different needs. If this hurts your knees, for example, you'd put something underneath them to give them a little padding, and maybe that helps the posture be a little more accessible to you. So right knee, right heel. If we need to be more therapeutic, we keep the knee behind the ankle. Deep breath in. Exhale to your half splits. Flex your right foot. So check in with your hips. I could tell you right now, I'm leaning to the left side. We all do it. So give yourself as much space as you need to keep you from doing that. Square hips is important. And then nerve glides. Point your toes away from your body. Flex your foot now. Draw the toes back. And then at your own pace, pointing and flexing. Just mindful of what you feel in your legs, your knees. Maybe it's really obvious. Sometimes it's not. Flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale, half split. So if we want to add that depth, elbows in, lift your heart, hinge forward, and think of lengthening from your spine, not rounding. And that might mean less of a stretch in your spine. It might feel different than what you're used to. Inhale to your lunge, tuck your toes, lift your back knee, look a little forward, hover your left knee down. Inhale, pick up your left leg, flex your foot. Exhale and forward fold. So hands to your shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. When you press your hands into your shins, let it be active. Slide those shoulders back. You might have to draw the tailbone down just a little. One more breath in here. Exhale and forward fold. Chin to your chest. Slowly roll up. Take your time. All right, so standing back up. We'll meet in Tadasana, mountain pose. And you can take a break anytime you need to, right? Hopefully you're skipping postures if they don't feel right for your body anyway. So we are going to start with our step out series. We're going to do some warriors. We're going to work into our hips a little bit. You can do this from a chair if you needed to, then you would just turn your legs to the side accordingly. All right. So I'm going to be at the top right of my mat. Might be a different situation for you. Just know that I'm going to start kicking the left foot out. So if you're doing the other side, please keep track of your left and right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, a big step out to the left. Arms out to a T shape or hands to heart center. If you're going hands to heart center, it's rolling the shoulders up and back. If you have the arms extended, it's little circles and really, really tiny circles. And if your whole body's moving, you need to take even smaller circles. So engage the glutes. Feel those thighs wrap behind you, the glutes wrap back. I'm going to move over just a little. All right, so take a look at your toes. Make sure they are turned in just a little bit. Inhale, lift up your chest, hold it wherever you are. On your exhale, forward fold. Ooh, lots of pops for me on the way down. All right, so once you're in your fold, maybe your hands touch the floor. If they don't, grab as much as you need to reach the floor. And then walk the block out in front of you or your hands forward. And then we're going to lean forward just like we did before. So if you feel like you have kind of a sway going on in your spine here, or it's hard to keep your spine straight, flip your block up to its highest level. All right. Right hand down first on this side. Inhale, left arm up. So we did this stretch earlier, right? With the legs closer together. Deep breath in. Exhale and twist. Space between your ribs and hips. It's easy to get crunchy. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale and twist. Look down, bring your left hand down, hang out in your fold. And we'll switch, left hand grounds. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Notice your hips here. It's okay to drop the left hip down just a little bit, but not so much that it's out of placement. So just a little bit is okay to give you space, but not too much. It's also okay to spin your thighs inwards to open up your lower back. And that's probably less of a twist in your torso. Deep breath in, exhale and twist. Looking down, right hand meets your left, forward fold. Inhale, lift up your chest. On your exhale, fold. So move your block to the side, keep it close. And you might like to take your hands behind your ankles, under the sides of your feet, peace fingers around your big toes, or any other option that seems better for you. Inhale, lift up your heart. Exhale and pull your upper body down. Head's heavy, shoulders away from your ears. Shift your weight towards your toes to help you lift up your hips. And if this feels good, spin those thighs inwards to lift your hips a little higher. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hands to the floor or a block. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to heart center. From here, you can take your hands to your hips or out like a T shape. Inhale up. Reach the arms up overhead. Bend your left knee. Left foot steps over to the right. Exhale back to your mountain pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step out to the left again. Arms back to your T shape. And then we'll pivot the right foot once to the right. Pivot your left toes in just a little bit. And bend and straighten your right knee. I'm going to slide back just a little bit. Bend and straighten your right knee. Multi-joint repetitive motion just helps find a little extra flexibility. And then when you're ready, settle. And you know, those hands don't have to be away from the body. They could be much closer. So we want to try to open up the hips. The hips are wrapping backwards, glutes wrapping backwards, common theme, right? Track the right knee over towards your pinky toe. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Lower the shoulders, lift your chest, breathe in. Exhale, sit a little deeper. Reach a little forward, flip your palm, inhale to reverse, right arm up. Slide the shoulders back down the spine. It's so easy for them to come forward here. Stay down in your lunge, keep pulling the left hip back. Deep breath in. Exhale and reach. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, back to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg, pivot your toes. So right toes in, left toes out. Bend and straighten your left leg. And settle. So when you ground from the feet, feel like you're drawing your ankles in towards each other and then open up the hips. Lift up from the core, lift your chest and reach through the fingers. Soft through the shoulders. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Check in with your left knee, work to track it open. Inhale, find some space. Exhale, and maybe you deepen. Now reach forward, flip your left palm, inhale to reverse. When you reverse, maybe the left arm goes straight up. Maybe it needs to stay at an angle. Heart center is always okay. You could do a beautiful reverse warrior with an Anjali Mudra, no problem. Deep breath in, lift your heart. Exhale, and maybe you reach. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, back to your warrior two. Straighten your left leg, pivot your toes. Toes are inwards again. Arms up overhead. Now we'll bend the right knee. Right foot steps over to the left. Exhale, mountain pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, arms up. This time, just a little step out to the right, about half of what you've been doing. All right. Turn the toes to the right, both of them. Hips follow. Hands to your hips, and then walk your right foot over to give your hips some space, okay? Inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, hold onto your hips like you're pinching them and hinge forward. When you hold those hips, try to press the hips back, reaching your chest forward and fold as far as you can go. And you're welcome to release your hands, of course, anytime you need to. Maybe your forehead touches your knees. Think of shifting the weight into your heels. Shoulders back, maybe forehead to the shin or the knee. Internal rotation of the thighs now, so they spin in towards each other. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, lift up your chest, and we're just going to pivot twice to the left here. Inhale, lift up your heart. Walk your left foot over if you need to, and on your exhale, fold. So think of pressing your right hip up into its socket, pressing the hips back. Weight is down in both heels. Maybe your back heel is up a little bit, then you should shorten your stance. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale, lift up your chest. Take your hands back to your hips if you can. Pinch them, squeeze your core. Inhale up. Pivot once to the right. Left foot meets the right. Back to your mountain pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. We got one more into the hips, and then we're going to do tree and then lower to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, last big step out to the left. Now this time we're going to go heels and toes out. Arms can be at hands can be at heart center, or arms can stay overhead if you like a little more cardio. Deep breath in. Engage your glutes with your exhale, bend your knees and lower your hips down. All right, so arms up is going to bring lots of cardio the longer you're here. So if that is getting to be too much, it's hands at heart center, or you can add some movement. So inhale, maybe the arms reach up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Maybe you can lower down. Squeeze those thighs and glutes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and lower down. Check in with your knees. Try to draw them behind you. Not truly behind you though, just in that direction. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower down and hold. Squeeze the thighs. Press down from the feet. Inhale, straighten your legs. Arms up overhead. Pivot your toes in. Right foot steps over to the left. Exhale, mountain pose. All right, I'm going to move to the middle of the mat. You can do whatever you want. All right, so tree. Biggest thing to remember is that trees fall down, trees fall over, trees regrow eventually, right? So if you fall over, hopefully you don't hurt yourself. If you have time and you want to practice, just restart the shape when it's available to you. If your balance is just too much today, lean up against a wall and try it. All right, there's options. So right foot down, left heel lifts, knee out to the left. This can be your tree. This is a beautiful tree. From here, you might like to bring your heel up a little bit, challenge your balance, maintain your hip opener, and then maybe the heel goes up to the inner thigh. So there's no such thing as a wrong tree. So just do the tree that you feel like being today. I'm in a very cold place. So I wish I was a palm tree, I guess. Deep breath in, slow breath out. You can play around with your arm placement. Maybe you like to have your hands behind you. Wherever you are, just take a few breaths. Squeeze the right thigh, lift up your chest. Track your left knee open. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hands together at the center of your chest. And release your left foot down. So left foot down, lift your right heel, take your knee out to the right and slide your heel up your calf, always avoiding your knee. Hand placement of your choice. So if your knee goes in, it's pretty normal. You just have to train it to open up. Squeeze the left thigh. You're wrapping that left thigh back, wrapping the right knee back, lifting up out of your lower back. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Check in with the four corners of your left foot. Engage your thigh, lift up your chest. Wherever you are, hands back to heart center. And release your right foot down. Inhale, arms reach up. Before we lower down, let's take a chest opener. So elbows out, lifting up the chest. You're welcome to press the hips a little forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and forward fold. I'll meet you in your fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, squat and curl, rounding your spine. Then look a little forward. Reach your arms out in front. See if you can bring your heels to the floor and keep your butt off the floor at the same time. It's a little difficult. And then lower your hips down. Walk your feet towards the edge of your mat. All right, hopefully I don't lose you in the frame. Okay, so block in between the knees. Reach the arms forward, lift your chest, breathing in. And on your exhale, lower back, squeeze the block on your way down. Okay, then pull your knees into your what we're doing next. So hands can be around the knees, hands can be behind the thighs. What's important is that your shoulders stay down. So you might have to put something underneath your head to help with that, or use a strap. Deep breath in, exhale and pull your knees towards your chest. Press your tailbone towards the floor. Inhale, exhale and pull. Shoulders down, inhale, exhale and pull. Send your heels up towards your ceiling. Flex your feet, fingertips reach towards your toes. Now engage your core, and don't worry, we're not doing too much core today. So lift your head and shoulders when you're ready. If your hands need to be in a different place, totally fine. Hold it here, a pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lift up and hold. Palms together, over to the right. Hold it here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Take it over to the left. Keep kicking from the heels. Hold or pulse if you like. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lift and hold. Hands back to center. Lift up 1 more inch. Breathe in. Exhale and lower down. Knees to your chest. A little squeeze. And then extend your right leg long. We'll go right leg first today. So left knee in towards the chest, shoulders down, flex both feet. Inhale, let your belly lift up. Push your stomach out. On your exhale, pull your knee in. Kick from your heels. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Last one, inhale. Exhale and pull. Left foot down, slide your hips over to the left a little bit. And take your twist. So left leg moves across your body. Left arm could extend all the way out. You could bend at your elbow. You could put something underneath your left arm to support it. And ultimately, if this hurts the front of your left shoulder, turn your palm down instead. And look to whatever you'd like. Try to bring the left shoulder down. Use any support you need underneath your knee. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. When you're ready, roll back to your center. Bring your knees in for a little squeeze. Extend your left leg long. Hang on to your right knee. Inhale, let your belly lift up. Exhale and pull your right knee towards your chest. Kick from your left heel. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Last one, breathe in. Exhale and pull. Place your right foot down, scoot your hips over to the right and take your twist. And roll back to your center. Slide your hips back over. From here, make sure that your feet are pretty close together. Your knees are close together. Engage your core and lift your tailbone just a tiny bit to shift your tailbone down and then bring it back down. Soles of the feet touch, knees fall open. And as I'm here in this shape, I am remembering that I was supposed to teach a restorative class today, and this is not a restorative class. And my apologies for getting my schedule backwards. I've been teaching active yoga basics this whole time, which a lot of you are in my class often, so you have already realized that. Thank you. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Again, inhale, let your belly lift up. Exhale, let your belly soften. Now think of softening the shoulders, softening the knees. If this becomes too much of a pull on the inner thighs, take something like a block and just place it underneath the outer edges of your thighs or your knees. If you had a bolster nearby, you could put a bolster underneath your feet, lifting your feet up. That's one of my favorite variations. So let your eyes close and just begin to let the muscles let go. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If you'd like to be here longer, please stay. Otherwise, press into your feet. Draw your knees in towards each other. Walk your feet out so that the knees are now kind of turning in towards each other or falling in towards each other. And this could be a nice stretch for your IT band. This helps a piriformis area. If you'd like to be still, it's a very nice option. Or you could bring one knee down, adding to a stretch in the front of the hip flexor. And then bring your right knee down. And then bring your knees back together and heel toe your feet back into alignment. Lift up your left leg, point your toes. See if you can point your toes to get your thigh to turn on. And then bend your left knee so it crosses over the right. Pick up your right leg. Take your hands behind the back of your right thigh. Flex both feet. Inhale, let your belly lift up. Exhale and slowly pull your right thigh in, and this could be a centimeter of movement. Inhale, belly lifts up. Exhale and pull your right knee in. Last one, inhale. Exhale and pull. Keep your shoulders down. Bring your right foot to the floor. Send your left leg back up, and now we'll flex the foot, kicking up from the heel, and take your hands behind the left thigh and try to keep your hip down, press your hip down, and then pull your toes towards you. If you got to bend your knee, it's no problem. My leg always starts to shake here a little bit. That's where my tightness is. All right, bend your left knee, bring your foot to the floor. Let's do that on the other side. So point your right toes, feel the thigh turn on, and then cross your right leg over your left. See if you can pick up your left leg and take a same or similar grip on this side. Flexing your feet. Inhale, belly lifts up. Exhale and pull the left knee in towards you, or the left thigh, maybe not so much the knee. Inhale. Exhale and pull. And this could really feel like you're not moving at all, but the stretch could feel humongous. Let's take one more. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Release your left foot down, send your right leg up. Now flex your foot, kick up from your heel, hands behind your thigh. Gently pull the toes towards you. Keep pressing your hip down. A lot of times we lift up the heel or the hip just to get a bigger stretch. Try not to do that. And bend your right knee, bring your foot to the floor. All right, so both knees in, give yourself a squeeze. If you'd like, you could lift your head up and try to bring your forehead towards your toes. Lower your head back down, happy baby. Hands to your feet, ankles, heels, legs, whatever you can grab. Heels up, knees towards your underarms. You can move, you can be still, you could do something else entirely. And when you feel good there, your back feels like it's settling, slowly take your feet to the floor and set up for the Shavasana that you would like. So I have a pretty good opportunity for some wall space today. So I'm going to go legs up the wall. If you would like to do legs up the wall, there's really no glamorous way to get into it. So I just say get your butt as close as you can to the wall and then turn around. And sometimes the tightness is in the lower back and the hamstrings and the butt area, so it's hard to get the butt towards the wall. It's no problem if you don't completely touch. So you could have your legs up. Sometimes people put a belt or something like that around their thighs to help hold their legs together. You're welcome to have your feet on the wall and the knees bent if that helps you stay in place. That doesn't work for me, but I've seen that work for other people. Arms down by your sides, palms up, tuck your shoulders to lift your chest. And you could use any support along the way here. That could be a pillow under your head, pillow under your butt, a weighted blanket over your chest. That's really nice over your hips as well, especially if you have some anxiety. There's no such thing as a wrong Shavasana. So just settle into a place where you can practice stillness for about a minute. And then we'll come up to our seats and end class with a short breathing exercise. So stay if you can. If you have to go or you'd like a longer Shavasana, just go ahead and mute me now. And thank you so much for coming. So now just begin to soften your shoulders. See where you can feel heavy. Let go of the core engagement, space between the eyebrows, and just see if you can let your eyes roll back a little. Check in with your tongue. I bet it's pressing into the roof of your mouth. Try to move it to the side. Deep breath in. Slow, steady, soft breath out. Wiggle your fingers, move your head a little bit side to side. If your legs are up the wall or similar to me, just take your time bringing them down wherever you are on your way to your seat. Roll to your side, just pause there for a moment and then come up to a comfortable seat for you. Okay, so keeping in mind that my comfortable seat may not be your comfortable seat. Close your eyes, lift up your chest, come back to light core engagement, just a little bit of structure here to hold our spine. You can have your palms down, palms up, hands in your lap, whatever you like. We're going to do 3 really strong breaths. You should feel this breath in the back of your throat. Sometimes it can get a little grindy if you're not used to it or if you have some sinuses. So try not to let the awkwardness of it take away from your experience. With your inhale, let your belly expand. Through your nose, a forceful exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Normal breath. Palms together, center of your chest. Lift up your chest. Thank your mind and your body for what it is capable of today. And give yourself a compliment for taking time on yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and you call this yoga. And as always, namaste.